Did you know that the Italian word Baccano can be translated as commotion, din, ruckus, or rumpus? Ah, you did, huh? Okay, wise guy. Well, did you know that the organized crime families in Baccano, Gandor, Genoa, Martillo, Runarata, and Rousseau loosely mirror the real-world 5 families in New York City? As in the infamous Bonanno, Colombo, Gambino, Genovese, and Lucchesi families. In fact, the crime boss connections go even further than that. In the original light novels, upon which the anime is based, Alphonse Scarface Capone and Charles Lucky Luciano are explicitly mentioned, albeit offhandedly. Many main characters, like Luck Gandor, hint strongly at some of the time period's most imposing figures. The indomitable duo Isaac and Miria are, of course, reminiscent of the real-life criminal couple Bonnie and Clyde. And like Al Capone and many other notorious gangsters, Huey LaFerre winds up serving time on the Rock, aka Alcatraz Island. Yeah, but you didn't hear it from me, alright? While writing aforementioned Baccano novels, author Ryogo Narita did a lot of research on 20th century American gangster culture. In the afterword of the first light novel, The Rolling Bootlegs, Narita specifically names Capone, the Man in the Era by Lawrence Bergreen as the inspiration for having a story set during Prohibition. Which, of course, was a time in American history when alcoholic beverages were federally banned, and, consequently, illegal bootlegging became big business. Narita commented, "I'm fascinated by this era, which is shown in all sorts of movies and by gangsters and the judicial organizations that pursue them." In addition to being drawn to larger-than-life criminals like Al Capone, Narita also gravitated towards Bergreen's depiction of famous Prohibition agent Elliot Ness, who led a special team of federal agents tasked with combating Capone's illegal business activities. Due to their effectiveness and purported inability to be bribed or intimidated, this team became immortalized as the Untouchables in popular culture. Recounted in numerous books and television shows, one of the more popular fictional iterations of the Untouchables can be found in the 1987 film of the same name. Directed by Brian De Palma and starring the likes of Kevin Costner and Robert De Niro, the Untouchables film actually ended up being an inspiration, specifically for the well-received English version of the Baccano anime. In an episode of RightStuff.com's Anime Today podcast, ADR director Tyler Walker recounted how he personally prepared for making this American-inspired anime as stylistically American as possible. I had heard that Ryogo Narita, I've read something somewhere that he got inspired by the Untouchables, so I watched the Untouchables, of course, and tried to take what I could from that. In hindsight, it seems quite serendipitous that Baccano had been so well received in both Japan and abroad, with the first light novel earning its author the Dengeki Gold Prize, and the anime garnering critical acclaim in the US, considering how informally Baccano as a story actually began. After commenting on the irony of the hero of the Prohibition era, Elliot Ness, allegedly becoming an alcoholic later in life, and describing it as an unfunny joke in his afterword, Narita couldn't help but remark, "These days, I'm smiling wryly over the idea that something I wrote on sheer momentum brought about these results, and wondering if this isn't some sort of unfunny joke as well." Speaking of the American adaptation, in the previously mentioned interview, Tyler Walker continued to describe how much went into the production process of localizing Baccano for an English-speaking market. I went back and watched some movies that were actually made in the period that this takes place in, because I thought that would maybe give us a truer feeling of how people really sounded and how they talked. Walker mentions James Cagney films like Public Enemy and others like Little Caesar and Once Upon a Time in America as sources for vocal authenticity. But since the anime is obviously a fantastic take on the gangster lifestyle and a heightened version of reality, Walker also watched Miller's Crossing by the Coen brothers for lingo and rhythm inspiration, and because like Baccano, it's a very stylized gangster flick. With such a large ensemble of characters, Funimation had to hold auditions for 6 days with an estimated 140 actors trying out, which, according to Walker, could have been the longest casting process we've had here. Of course, the Japanese side of production was just as dedicated to creating an atmosphere of American authenticity. Art director Akira Ito led a scouting mission to key locations in New York City to help staff members accurately portray the setting when creating the series. Some of the Manhattan locations the team visited include Chinatown, Grand Central Terminal, and Hell's Kitchen, along with the iconic architectural structures like the Empire State Building, the Manhattan Bridge, and even Chumley's. Still standing to this day, Chumley's is famous as a former speakeasy where, due to its historic location at 86 Bedford Street, it's rumored that the American lingo 86, meaning to scram or get rid of something, may have originated. As the stories go, during the pub's prohibition days, police would politely call the bartender ahead of time and tell him they're 86's customers, i.e. make everyone leave if they didn't want to get arrested. Capiche? And to aid in the creation of the Flying Pussyfoot, Ito's team also visited the Railroad Museum, Steamtown National Historic Site in Scranton, Pennsylvania to get first-hand glimpses of various steam locomotives. Fortunately, even after Baccano ended, many members of the cast and production staff, including Ito himself, were able to reunite just a few years later to work together on another of Ryogo Narita's creations, one which has many direct ties to Baccano and its eccentric world populated by truly timeless characters. Hey, thanks for watching. We're Did You Know Anime, the anime trivia resource. Make sure you follow us on Twitter and Facebook for all the latest facts and trivia. And if you like this goofy gangster voice I'm doing, check out JelloApocalypse for more comic dubs, anime, and other malarkey.